Hello and welcome back. I'm here with another interview with one of my amazing clients. Today I'm talking to Pam. We want to know who you are, where you live, and what you do.
Well, hi, I'm Pam Fletcher. I live in Plattsville. I'm retired, luckily. I do volunteer at the school and work there a few hours a week. And I'd also really like to getting back to a fitness
Hmm.
instructor again, because I was that for 11 years. COVID kind of shut that down, unfortunately. And
Yeah,
you know what? Everything's just kind of made it. It's going to be part of my life again.
yeah, cool. Actually, Pam and I met when I owned a gym and she was the step instructor there.
Yeah.
So we go back a little ways and have some history there. So that's great. Um, I'd like to know, where were you with your health and your fitness and happiness before joining the Balanced Bodies program? And then why did you decide to look for a coach like me?
I was not in a good place. I hate to blame everything on COVID because COVID just made us change. So it's not COVID's fault. It's what happened. But we retired at the same time as what COVID hit.
Mm,
So it wasn't the retirement that I had planned.
right.
Um, so you know what? There was just a lot of sitting and puzzles and pity parties. And honestly, the weight gain, the actual physical um, changes that I had undergone, I was probably the worst that I had ever been, I think, in
Okay.
my life.
Yeah.
Um, why did I choose you? Yes, it wasn't because I knew you, but I knew what your ethics were at the gym. I knew what a close-knit community it was there to work there, to join the gym. It was really, really good. And I knew that you knew what you were talking about. And also, I should point out, you sent me a week recipe for a menu. And
Right.
I did that actually for, I don't know, about 4 weeks before I contacted you again. I lost 14 pounds just
Wow.
from that one change before I even started signing up with you. So it was like, yes, this is definitely what I need.
Wow. That's
You know,
amazing.
14 pounds. It was,
Yeah.
I think that was 6 weeks. 4 weeks was when I contacted you, but when we actually started doing
Started.
everything, so
Yeah.
in 6 weeks, I lost the 14 pounds, which is pretty good.
Yeah. Now you talked about, you've been in the fitness industry, you've taught classes. Was there anything else you'd tried before that?
Oh, tons.
Yeah. What was that?
I have done a lot of stuff. So, I mean, you join a gym and you might join some of their nutrition programs and stuff like that. I did get a nutritionalist once, which was really good. She taught me a lot of things, but what she lacked was the skills to continue with it.
Oh, I
Um,
see.
and I think that has been in every program is the skills to continue. Um, but yes, it's been nutritionalist, personal trainers. I've done pretty much all of it.
Yeah. And, from my years of working in the gym, I started as a personal trainer and fitness instructor. And when I was working with my clients, it was like, there's something missing. Like, we're working out, we're doing all the things, but there's just something missing. And then for me, it was the same thing when COVID hit. I had to close down the gym and I had some time. So that's when I decided to dive deeper into the nutrition aspect. And I really liked the holistic approach that I found. And yeah, it's a sustainability. It's not just here's
Yeah.
30 days. It's this is what you're going to do, and you're making habits for a lifetime. So that's what I
Yeah.
really liked about it.
I really liked how you had the 4 month package. That is
Mhm.
enough time to make it become a habit and to have all of the struggles that you might come across. You actually encountered them and you were prepared what to do with
Yeah.
them, which I think is a real game changer going forward with this.
Yeah, that's a good point too. Now I'm curious, were you skeptical at all about before joining me for any reason?
Well, I'm not sure skeptical before joining. I have to admit, I did not realize it was going to be gluten-free and dairy-free. I knew that we
Mhm.
were going to eliminate the Furious Five, but they were still not what I knew what they were. And when I realized that it was gluten-free and dairy-free, which happens to be probably the two most favorite things in my life, um, I thought, you know what, give it a chance and see what
Yeah.
it does. And I am telling you, it changes you in more ways than you would ever think.
Yeah, who would think, right? I mean, we grow up on bread, we grow up on cheese. How many grilled cheese sandwiches have you had in your life, right?
I know.
And without even knowing what it's doing to your body, because you always feel that way. So
That's right.
once you eliminate it and take it away, you start to realize, like, wow, my body feels really good right now. Must
I
be the bread
know.
and the cheese, or all that stuff. Just the inflammation coming down. It's really
And that
eye-opening.
reminds me of one meeting that I had with you, and it was like, well, what do you eat with soup? Because I mean, to me, it was probably a sandwich, a
Yeah.
grilled cheese or some sort of sandwich
Crackers.
always went with the soup. Yeah. It was never soup and a meat. So it
Yes.
was like when you said, well, meat, and it's like, huh, okay. And you know what? It is good.
Seems so simple, right? Just add meat. But yeah, you're right. Like you usually think of soup and crackers. Some people put soup and cheese, right? Some
Yes,
people do soup and bread, they dip it in. Like there's never that, like, oh, it's a side. It's just like a vegetable. But
that's right.
yeah,
That's
just simple
right.
things like that for sure. For sure. Okay, so you have gone through the 4 months. Can you touch a little bit more specifically on the results or the benefits you've experienced, whether it's physically, mentally, socially, emotionally, or all of them?
How about all of them? Mentally, for sure.
Yeah,
It's put me in a position where I can clearly think better than what I did before. That doesn't sound like something you can wrap your head around until you've done it.
yeah,
But it is definitely something that changes you on how you think and how you prepare yourself. And instead of just saying, okay, I've got a hockey tournament to go to, it's like, okay, I've got a hockey tournament. It's 2 nights in a hotel. I need to bring oatmeal. I need to bring this. And it was easy to bring.
yeah.
It really was. So, I mean, it changed how I thought about things. Mobility, hugely. So
Mm,
again, with the 14 pounds prior, and then I've lost 26 pounds in your 4 month program. My mobility is so different. I mean, it sounds weird. I can sit on the floor again. I can, when you do crouch down, you can stand up. You don't need to hang on something to
yeah,
stand up with.
yeah,
And the muscles are working again. And that's the classes too. The classes were great.
yeah.
Um, which again inspired me to get my own classes in there again, which is also good. Bloating. Bloating is huge. And then I think the main thing is after you eat, if you don't clean your system out, you don't realize how bloated you are and how that food sits in your stomach. I think you were saying like there was pork, it can sit in your stomach for 2 days or
Oh, it can sit in
3
your
days or
stomach
something.
for months.
A month.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
When we eat now, there is nothing sitting in my stomach afterwards. I know I'm still processing stuff, and of course that pork that I do eat is there, but it doesn't have all of the cheese and the potatoes and everything else on top of it. It's giving my stomach a chance to digest the food properly and expel them. I mean, it's just great. My stomach feels fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so like again, it's one of those things where you don't realize it until you change the system, right? Like, oh, this is just how I am, is what you probably were thinking. It's just how my body works. But once
Hmm.
you clean it up and get the right tools under your belt, you're like, wait a minute, that's not how it's supposed to work. So
That's right.
yeah, that's really good. I suffer from or I used to suffer from a lot of bloating as well. And it was like, no, it's just I just can't eat this or I just can't eat that. And it's not true. It's just fix the insides first and then you can eat everything, right?
That's
Well,
right. Well,
with the
yeah,
exception.
yeah.
But I mean, I used to have problems with lettuces. So, you think you're going on the healthy route, but you get like I got gut rot and just bloating like crazy. So it's cleaning that up and
Hmm.
then you can process it. So it works well. Yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
Okay. Now, were there any results that were unexpected? So you came to me initially for weight loss,
Yep.
right? So
Yep.
was there anything that came up that was different than you expected?
Sleep.
Mm.
I've never been a bad sleeper, so I didn't think that I could improve. When you said, no, you need to get to bed before 10:30, it was like, okay, Carrie, I will try this. And that's what I was thinking. I'm going to give it 2 weeks of going to bed between 10 and 10:30 and see if there's a change or anything. Um, and there was. It's more restful. I feel better in the morning. I don't have that fog brain when I wake up. I feel
Yeah.
clear. I fall asleep much faster. Now, this part's going to sound kind of funny. A friend of mine, she used to call it the heebie-jeebies. And I don't know what it is. It is something physical. I think it's with menopause or something, where the legs just can't rest. And
Yes.
you're just always feeling like you need to settle in to get them to quiet down and go to sleep.
Mhm.
I don't know what the technical term is, but you know what? I realized about a month ago, I haven't had that since I started going to bed at 10 or 10:30. I'm getting more rest. I'm falling asleep. I am
Yeah.
not laying there trying to get comfortable. It just seems great. And it's that
Yeah.
part of the sleep that surprised me.
You were very hesitant on the sleep at first. You're like, but I get my 8 hours. I get it. Even if I go to bed at 11 or 12, I still get them. But it's the time that you go to sleep that your hormones can repair. And that's the part that was missing, right?
That's right.
And I think what you're talking about is restless leg syndrome.
Could be.
That
That's
sounds
exactly what it is.
yeah. So, and that definitely like it all is related. Like every little symptom, every symptom that you have is your body talking to you. It's just whether you listen to it or not, right?
That's right.
And sometimes it's as simple as drinking more water or going to bed earlier, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily have to mean here's this prescription or, here's this pill. It's like, let's change your lifestyle first and see if that works.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Um,
sleep is so great.
okay, it is. I think going backwards too is when I worked, I got up at 4:30 in the morning. So I was going to bed at 9:30. So I thought when I retired, great, I get to stay up and be a big girl and stay up till 11. But 10 or 10:30 I can deal with. That's all right.
Yeah. It's actually
Um,
not that bad, right? Like,
no,
and your body starts to give you cues onto, no, it's time to go to sleep now. And I've never been a night person, so I don't understand the staying up late. Even my teenagers, I don't get it, right? I'm just like,
yeah.
just go to bed. You're tired. But
Yeah.
it's the fear of missing out and all that stuff. So yeah, it's so important. Okay, so what would you say to someone who's considering reaching out to me about the program, but then they might be skeptical or they're on the fence or they're scared?
I think the first thing I would say is it's not a diet. It is not going into a program where you have a month given to you or anything like that. This is a lifestyle change. And if you're ready for a lifestyle change that you can maintain, then this is for you.
Yeah.
I think that's such a huge part of it. And I don't think I even realized it until I was almost out of your program at about the 3-month part. It was, what is my plan so I can continue this, right?
Right.
And I was using all of your mind dumps and stuff like that, the skills that you had taught us, and it came down to this is not a diet, and I don't have to worry. It's a lifestyle change that I really enjoy. I love the food. It's not diet food. I'm eating more than I've ever eaten in my life.
Yeah.
Even at lunch today, I'm eating the salad and I still struggle with them a little bit to eat everything because that's a lot of food
Yeah.
in that salad. And I'm looking over at my husband and he's already done his. And it's like, oh, there's just some days it's just hard to get all of this in. But I mean,
Yeah.
I do realize how it maintains you for the day and sets you up. So yes, you do need that full 3 to 4 ounces of protein and
Yeah.
the 2 cups of lettuce.
Yeah. And the difference is that when you eat those foods, it keeps your blood sugar even, right? So if you were eating the soup and the bread and the crackers, right, you're going to go up and you're going to feel great. And all of a sudden, it's going to come right back down. And that's when you're going to grab for the sugary snacks at 3 o'clock in the afternoon or
That's
the bread,
right.
the chips, if that's your thing. So that's what it's teaching you. And I love that you pointed out that it doesn't feel like a diet because it's not intended to, right? Like
No.
you're intended just to almost eat mindfully and intuitively. Like, what does my body need right now? And I think that, you went through, you were kind of like a pilot for me where you got the 4-week meal plan, which was done for you with recipes and everything. And then you transitioned into building your own. And I would be curious to know, like for you, yes, obviously that meal plan worked for you because you did really well on that. But what was the difference for you from going from having a meal plan made for you to building your own? Like, was there some learning aspects in there that were better off for you?
I think planning.
Yeah.
I got better at the planning. At the beginning, it would be I went through the 4 weeks and I went through some recipe books and kind of wrote down what we would have for breakfast and suppers and kind of go from there. But then that didn't work because then I wasn't really planning. I was writing down what I should have that day, but I wasn't looking to see what I was doing that evening. So sometimes it just
Mhm.
doesn't work out that we could make that.
Right.
I don't prep a lot of the meals in advance. Again, being retired, I
Yeah.
kind of enjoy that. My husband enjoys cooking. We prep what we need. So, I mean, I can cook quinoa on Sunday, and then we can dish that out into any of the meals that we need later on. I make all of my oatmeal up for the morning, the week. I don't add the almond milk. I just get the jars all
Yeah.
full of the oatmeal and everything else. And then I can do that. So then once I started fine tuning the planning, it was much, much easier. And I still use that paper that you gave us. And but it's
Mhm.
easier now. I look at my day planner so I know what I'm doing through the week. And it's like, okay, I'm not going to get home until 5 o'clock that night. So I can't make, chicken, but I can make burgers, right? So I mean, I
Yep.
kind of plan that way and fine tune on it. And it's really worked out well. The last, I would say month, it's really been smooth for how it is. My
Awesome.
husband knows where it is. So when it's his night of cooking, he just pulls it out
Right.
and cooks whatever is written down there. So it's been good.
And your husband had a little added bonus in all this too, right? Can you
Oh,
explain
he
what happened there?
did. He did. He was on high cholesterol medicine. And again, he's an amazing husband, but he didn't let me do this by myself. He does a lot of the cooking as well, and he wasn't going to cook 2 meals, and he was going to support me with it. And he says everything tastes good, so he's been eating everything that I eat. Honestly, he has been on it every single day. He says, "Oh, what's
Yeah.
for supper today?" Or, is this a high carb day or a low carb day? That one is still confusing to him as well as me, but that's
Oh yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Um, but now he has lost 40 some odd pounds as well. He has
Amazing.
gone back to the doctors with the blood work. He is off high cholesterol medicine. He is no longer borderline for diabetic. His physical changes have just been amazing. It's made him
Wow.
so much more healthier
And that's
and
just by the food, right?
just
Like,
by
and
the
just
food.
following you.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep,
That's amazing. It's
yep.
amazing.
I can't get him to
Wow.
work out with me, but that's all
Well,
right.
you got him to do the other stuff, so you can't be
That's
choosy,
right.
right?
He walks, and he's got a
Great.
bike down there. He goes down on the bike every so often, but not
Yeah.
the 3 to 4. And you know what? That's good. I'm
Yeah.
proud of what he's done already, right?
Yeah, you should be. Yeah, you guys are like a powerhouse couple. That's amazing.
It is
Awesome.
really good if you have a support group. I'm not sure what it would be like if I had to cook every single meal on my own
Yes.
and make sure I ate well on my own. I mean, we're only 2 people. It's better to do it together, right? And
Yeah,
support is
and
so
I
important.
talk to a lot when I talk to a lot of people, they're like, well, what am I going to have to eat? And, I've got a family or, my husband or whatever. And it's for everybody. Like your toddlers can eat food like this. It's not anything different. It's all food you can get at the grocery store. It's just made in a different way with maybe some different ingredients. So instead of
That's
milk,
right.
maybe almond milk, right?
Yep.
Or we used a lot of coconut milk and coconut cream. Like those
Yep.
things make the dishes even more delicious.
That's right.
So yeah, so I always tell people that it's not anything that you have to be
Yep.
on a special diet for, right? This is normal
Yep.
everyday food. It's just changing a little bit of them along the way. So
Yep.
yeah.
I look after my grandchildren. They eat a lot of the suppers as well. They might complain a little bit more than Dennis, but they eat it.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's so
Yep.
good. Well, I think that's all for today. So thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciated it. Is there anything else you want to add? You said quite a bit, so
I know. Just thanks, Carrie. This has definitely been life-changing. And
so
you know
glad.
what? I'm going to text you every so often and still
Yeah.
send those pictures that I love so much, just so you can keep on with the progress there.
Totally. Keep me updated. I love it. I love it.
All right.
Awesome. Okay.
Thank you
Thanks
so
so
much.
much.
All right. Bye.